Okay. Good morning, everyone. So, online students. Hmm. Okay, right. So here, in the last class, yeah, I said about how to work with how to read the content of the array. And I said you can read the content of the array. Okay, you can read the content of the array using index. Okay, using index. And second one is using slicing. And third one is using for loop. And fourth one is using iterators. And I said using index, you can able to read one item, and this reading can be done either sequentially, or this reading can be done either what? Randomly. By giving one index, you can read only one value. So by giving one index, you can able to read only one value. But by giving multiple indexes, you can read more than one value, right? And always you try to give the index based on the dimensions and what is that shape. Okay. So this is what we have seen in the last class with some examples. How to read the content of the array, that is single dimensional array, one dimensional array, and one more is two dimensional array. And even I said about how to read from three dimensional array even might be. So this is giving multiple indexes, that is a row index, and this is what here? Column index. This is a row index and this is a column index, right? Now, in the same way, you can also read it based on the condition, which is called as a conditional selection. So reading elements from the array can be done based on the condition. So you are trying to write array name and it followed by condition. And this is what we have seen, like how to read it based on the condition. So you can also read it. So you can also read it based on the condition. You can read it based on the condition here. Yes, sir. Yeah, just here. So based on the condition, suppose I'm trying to create an array. Suppose I'm trying to create an array by saying np dot array. So I try to create an array using a list, and this is an array contain number of values. So I try to create an array with a list of how many values? 10 values. I try to create an array with a list of how many values? 10 values. Okay. So I can print array by using print. So this will print array. But I want to read the values which are greater than 30 and less than 80. I want to read elements which are greater than 30, greater than or equal to 30 and less than or equal to what? 80. Then how can I read by using a condition? I'm writing here, what is that? A of, so A of, I'm writing A greater than or equal to 30. A is greater than or equal to 30. Now here I'm using an AND operator, and A is less than or equal to what here? 80. A is greater than or equal to 30, and A is less than or equal to what? 80. Now if you run this, oh sorry. So this should be only one condition. So A is greater than or equal to 30. Now how can I write this? Can use one operator, like suppose I want A is less than or equal to 30. You can write like this, right? A is greater than or equal to 30, and 30 is less than or equal to what? 80. Can I write like this? Okay. So this is also given some error. So I want A is less than or equal to A is greater than or equal to 30, and A is less than or equal to what? 80. So I can just write the condition like this. A is less than, I mean greater than 30. So it read all the elements where the value of A is greater than or equal to 30. See, you can also use, yes. Now here you can use a condition. So condition is nothing but, now if this condition returns true, then it return the value. But if this condition is false, then it doesn't return that value. So this is reading the elements from the array based on the condition, based on the selection, or based on the condition. But using index, you can able to read only one value. Using index, you can able to read only one value. And if you want to read multiple values, then you can go for, so you can use what here? Slicing. So next what I'm talking about is slicing. So there is a slicing here. Okay, there is a slicing. So what is a slicing? Now slicing is a process of, okay. So what is slicing is, the slicing is a process of, slicing is a process of, reading, so more than one value from array. Or you can say reading part of, okay, reading part of array. If you want to read a part of array, then you are using which one? Slicing. So slicing is a process of reading more than one value from array, or reading a part of array is done with the help of what here? Slicing. For example, you have an array. Okay, assume that there is a single dimensional array, which is nothing but one dimensional array. You have a one dimensional array. So this is one dimensional array. And if you want to read a part of an array, you can read a part of an array by using which one? Slicing. It means reading an array from an array. Reading an array from array is done by using which one? Slicing. Reading an array from array is called as which one? Slicing. So this slicing can be done on, yes. So the slicing is done by using multiple indexes. You know it. When you are working with a list, list is there. If you want to slice the list, what is the syntax of slicing? You try to give the list name. Now slicing always required three things. One is a starting index, second one is a stopping index, and third one is what? Step. Whenever you want to do the slicing, you require how many inputs? Three inputs. That is a start, and second one is a stop, and third one is what? Step. So this define the starting index and this define the stop index, and the step is nothing but increment or what? Decrement. The step is nothing but increment or decrement. That you can call it as which one? Step. Okay, right? So slicing is a process of reading more than one value. Trutil, trutil, no. Trutil is a graphics, right? Trutil is not there. You are not there in the last class. Last three classes you are there, Punit. Trutil. Trutil is a graphics that is child, right? Kids programming. What do you do with that kids programming? Yes. You are not there in last classes, Punit. You are there or not there? Answer. Punit, you are there in the last classes. You had exam. Then why you are asking here? After coming, after completing exams, if you come, then your class will be there. Huh? Okay, right? So slicing completed that batches. Okay, right. So slicing is a process of reading more than one value from array or reading part of the array. So whenever you are talking about slicing, right? So whenever you are talking about slicing, now let me take this array again. Now this is an array. Assume that this is an array. This is an array. So it is only, yeah, if you take this is an array. So in this array, I want to read first three values. If I want to read the first three values, I'll try to say A of, okay, 0 colon, what is that? 3. Now where here 0 is called as a starting index and 3 is called as what? Stop index. But always a stop index is not included. The stop index is not included. If you are trying to print a B, and what is a B is an array. Okay. Or an array contain how many values? 3 values. So that is nothing but 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. It is read how many values here? 3 values. Because the index starts at what here? 0. The index of this element is 0. The index of this element is 1. The index of this element is 2. So total how many values it is read? 3 values. Total how many values it is read? 3 values it is read. So that is nothing but 0, 1, 2. In the same way, if I am writing a C equal to A of, now you can see B is which array? B is which array? One dimensional array. B is which array? One dimensional array. And what is the shape of B? What is the shape of B? How many values are there? 3 values. How many values are there? 3 values. So always in slicing required 3 inputs. One is a start, a stop, and one more is a step. If I'm writing a C equal to A of C equal to A of, okay, C equal to A of, I'm writing here some 0 colon 8 colon 2. If I'm writing 0 colon 8 colon 2, where 0 is called as a starting index, 0 is called as a starting index, 8 is called as a stop index, and 2 is called as what here? Step. Means it will try to read all the values. It will try to read all the values by incrementing the index with what? 2. It's nothing but it will read first the element at what? 0. And 0 plus 2 becomes what? 2. It will read the element at 2. And 2 plus 2 it becomes what? 4. Then it will read the element at 4. And 4 plus 2 is a 6. It will read the element at 6. And 6 plus 2 is a 8. It will read the element at what? 8. So what is the element at 0 here? 10. What is the element at 2 here? 30. What is the element at 4 here? 50. What is the element at 6 here? 70. But is it 8 is included or not included? Not included. And this index can be either positive. This index can be either positive. This index can be either what? Negative. I'm writing minus 10. I'm writing minus 10 colon. I'm writing minus 10 colon minus 5 colon minus 1. That means you are trying to do the slicing. You are trying to do the slicing from right to left. You are trying to do the slicing from right to left. If I'm printing a D, it will try to read the elements from where? Left to right or right to left? I said here minus 10 minus 5. Is it this is correct or wrong? Wrong, right? So this is minus 10 minus 5 and what is that? 1. Means you are reading from left to right. Left to right only. So what is the index of this element is? Minus 10. What is the index of this element is? Minus 9. What is the index of this element is? Minus 1. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, minus 9, minus 10. It means you are reading from left to right by decrementing index by incrementing or decrementing. Incrementing the index by 1. If you run this code, you can see 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So you can read from left to right. You can read from right to left by using a positive index or by using a negative index. Minus 1 colon, minus 1 colon, minus 6 colon, minus 1. Minus 1 colon, minus 6 colon, minus 1. So what is a minus 1 here? Starting index. What is a minus 6 here? Stop index. What is minus 1 here? Step. So minus 1 plus of minus 1 is minus 2. Minus 2 plus of minus 1 is minus 3. Minus 3 plus of minus 1 is minus 4. Minus 4 plus of minus 1 is minus 5. Is it read the elements from left to right or right to left? Right to left. It will read the elements from right to left. If I'm saying print E, now you can see E is an array and it contains the elements like this 100, 90, 80, 70 and what? 60. This is what we learn already in list. That's the reason at the time of learning list, I used to tell like indexing and slicing is very important because you come across this indexing and slicing even when you are working with NumPy, you are working with pandas, right? If you are working with SciPy, any data structure like sequential data structure supports what? Indexing and slicing. Indexing and slicing. So the syntax of this indexing and slicing is the same, but when it comes to the NumPy, you have an advanced indexing and advanced what? Slicing. Advanced indexing and advanced slicing you have, right? Then this is a E. Now you can write with a positive index, you can write with what? Negative index. If I'm writing F equal to A of, so F equal to A of, now you can give, okay, I'm writing colon colon. Now even I used to teach like multiple syntaxes of slicing. Is it giving all these indexes? Is it giving indexes start and stop is required or optional? Optional. If you don't give the start and stop, the start and stop values are taken based on which value? Step value. Suppose if I'm not giving anything, if I'm not giving anything, I'm not given starting index, I've not given the stop index, I've not given what? Step. Then what will happen? It will take the default start to stop step or not? Yes. What is the default start? 0. The default start is what? 0. And what is the default stop is? Length of the array. Length of the array. So is it this will create a copy of the array or not? This will create a copy of the array by reading all the elements. It will create a copy of the array by reading all the elements. So it is read all the elements from beginning to ending. But sometimes it will take the start and stop values based on what step value. It will take the start and stop values based on the step value colon 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 minus 1. If I'm writing a colon colon minus 1, what is a minus 1 here? Step. Then are you given start and stop? No. Then what is the default to start? Minus 1. So here the start and stop is taken based on which value? Step value. If the step is negative, then the start is what? Minus 1. And the stop is minus length of the array plus 1. Okay. So will it reverse the array or not? Yes. This will reverse the array. Now you can see it is reverse the array and read the elements from right to left. So in the same way, if I'm writing h equal to a of colon 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 2. So here the index is step is a positive or negative? Positive. If the step is positive, if the step is positive, okay, if the step is positive, okay. If the step is positive, if the step is positive, then what is the default start is 0. What is the default stop is? Length of the array. Default start is 0 and default stop is length of the array and step is what here? 2. Means it will try to increment. It will try to increment the index by, it will try to increment the index by what? 2. It will try to increment the index by 2. Now this is when you are working with single dimension array. This is one dimensional array. This is what? One dimension array. In one dimensional array, you will try to read it by using one index or multiple indexes, one index, right? Now in the same way, so in the same way, so you can read in forward direction. You can read in what? Backward direction. This can be done by using positive index or this can be done using negative index. Suppose I want to read all the elements from the array. I want to read all the values from array except the first two values, except the first two values and last two values. I want to read all the values from array except the first two values and last two values. Then except the first two values and last two values means how you write it? A of 2 colon minus 2. 2 colon minus 2. Now 2 is which index? Starting index. So that is 0, 1, 2. And what is the stop I have given? Minus 2. The start is a 2 and stop is what here? Minus 2. Then it will read all the elements except the first two values. Except the first two values and last two values, it will read all the values. Now you can say print. So print which one? I. Is it I is nothing but an array or not? Yes. Now this is having how many values? All the values, but except the first two values and last two values. Okay, except the first two values and last two values. But I want to read except the first two values and last two values in reverse. I want to read except the first two values and last two values in reverse. Tell me how to write it. A of except the first two values and last two values in reverse. In reverse means I want to read from here 80 to 30. 80 to what? 30. Tell me. 80 to 30 means I should say what? Minus 2 or 3. Minus minus 3 or minus 2 or minus 3. -1, -2, -3. -3. I am writing here -3 colon -3 colon 3. -3 colon 3. Can I write like this? What is the default step is? What is the default step is? 1. What is the default step is? 1. So this giving is wrong or correct? Wrong. Because -3 to 3 I said, no? Can I write like this? -3 colon 3. And what is the step is? 1. What is the step is? 1. If you don't give it, then what is the default step is? 1. So -3 plus 1 becomes what? -2. -2 plus 1 becomes what? -1. -1 plus 1 becomes what? 0. But will it be, this can be a cyclic? No. Slicing cannot be cyclic. Slicing cannot be what? Cyclic. Means again it will not come to the beginning and start reading. Again it will not come to the beginning and what? Start reading. So I want to read all the values except the first 3 values and last 3 values from right to left. From right to left. So if I'm writing -3 colon 3, then this might gives what? Empty array. But if I give -1 here, if I give -1 here, -1 I say. Now you can see 80, 70, 60 and what is that? 50. 80, 70, 60 and what? 50. Because what is the default step is? 1. Positive or negative? Positive. If you don't supply the stepper, then what is the default step will be? +1. If you don't supply the stepper, what is the default step is? +1. But I want to read elements from where? Right to left. How can I read the elements from right to left? By using starting index and stops here. The starting index is negative and stop index is what? Positive and step is what? Negative. The starting index is positive. The stop index is what? Negative. Then step is what? Positive. Now this is reading from left to right and this is reading from right to left. This is reading from left to right and this is reading from right to left. Are you getting or not? Bolo yaar. Yes or no? What do you say? Yes or no? Huh? Not all. Huh? You understood or not? List may CK, na CK. You have learned list, right? List అయిపోయిందా అయిపోయింది అయిపోయింది అయింది పోయింది అంతేనా సో లిస్ట్ యూ హావ్ లెర్న్ లిస్ట్ రైట్ हाँ लिस्ट में सीखे मार भूल गए फिर बताना पड़ रहा है इधर हाँ जो सीखे वो चले गया फिर याददाश्त आना ना Yeah. So just to see it. So this is 1D array. We are trying to do the slicing on which array? 1D array. And you can also do the slicing on 2D array or 3D array. So let me tell you about doing the slicing on which array? 2D array. Okay. So I'm trying to create an array or matrix. So np dot array, I'm creating a 2-dimensional array. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now this is a 2-dimensional array with how many rows and how many columns? 3 rows and 3 columns. It is a 2-dimensional array with 3 rows and 3 columns. You have a 3 rows and 3 columns. So two-dimensional array is created with 3 rows and 3 columns. Right? Now you can check this. A dot, how can you find dimensions? N dimension. How can you find shape? A dot shape. A dot n dimension, A dot shape. So what is the dimension is? 2 dimension having 3 rows and 3 columns. 3 rows and 3 columns are there. Okay. So you have a number of attributes, right? There are number of attributes provided by array object. Number of attributes provided by array object. So here I printed array. I printed dimensions of array. I printed what? Shape of the array. Now I want to read 2 rows. I want to read 2 rows. Tell me. I want to read 2 rows. Then what will I do? A of, can I write here 0 colon 2? Can I write 0 colon 2? Yes, 0 colon 2. Now 0 is which index? Starting index. And 2 is which index? Stop index. Means it will try to read how many elements from this array? 2 elements. 2 elements are nothing but 2 rows or not? Yes. It will read 2 rows. What is the index of this element? 0. What is the index of this element? 1. What is the index of this element? 2. I said 0 colon 2. When I write here 0 colon 2, it will read. How many rows it will read? 2 rows. Now, this is also 2-dimensional array or not? Yes. Contain how many rows? 2 rows. And how many columns? 3 columns. How can you find out that? B dot n dimension comma B dot shape. So when I say shape, now 2 rows with how many columns? 3 columns. 2 rows with how many columns? 3 columns. Now this can be positive or this can be what? Negative. This can be positive or this can be what? Negative. -1 colon, -1 colon, -3 colon, -1. If I'm writing -1 colon, -3 colon, -1, it will read how many rows? Bolo here. It will read how many rows? 2 rows. From where? Right to left. It will read 2 rows from right to left. So print C and C dot n dimension and C dot, what is that? Shape. When you run this code, you can see 7, 8, 9 and 4, 5, 6. It is which array? 2-dimensional array with how many rows? 2 rows with how many columns? 3 columns with 2 rows and 3 columns. Clear? You understood this one? So this is the way how you are doing on which array? Single dimension array. In the same way, you are also doing on which array? 2-dimensional array. So if you are using only if you are using only one index, that indicates which index it is? Row index. If you are using only one index, that indicates which index? Row index. What is the starting row index? 0. What is the stop row index? 2. What is the starting row index? -1. What is the stop row index? -3. You are incrementing index with what? -1. Now you can also you can also define the row index as well as what? Column index. You can also represent a row index as well as what? Column index. Now, how can you represent row index and column index? Suppose now this is your matrix. Assume that this is a 3 by 3. 3 rows and 3 columns. It is a 2-dimensional array with 3 rows and 3 columns. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now what is this index is? 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 0. This is 1. This is 2. Now I want to read 2 rows and 2 columns. I want to read 2 rows and 2 columns. I want to read 2 rows and 2 columns. First 2 rows and first 2 columns. I want to read one matrix from matrix. I want to read one matrix from matrix. I want to read first 2 rows and first 2 columns. But when you're writing here, 0 colon 2, this indicates which index? Or this 0 colon 2 indicates which index? A row index. This is nothing but which index? A row index. Means you are reading only, or you are reading only rows. You are reading only rows. But I want to read even which one? Columns. Now row slicing and one more is column slicing. Row slicing and column slicing. You can define that by separating with, I want to read first 2 rows, 0 colon 3. I said here 0 colon 3 comma. I'm writing like this 0 colon 3 comma. Again I'm writing 0 colon 3. I write 0 colon 3 comma 0 colon 3. Can I write like this? Because it is having 2 indexes, right? That is a row index and one more is what? Column index. It is having 2 indexes. One is row index and one more is a column index. If you run this, you can see 0 colon 3. I said 0, 1, 2. Okay. So I should say 0 colon 2 and 0 colon 2. Now you can see how many rows and how many columns? 2 rows and 2 columns. Now first slicing represents rows and second slicing represents columns. First slicing represents rows and second slicing represents column. You are reading 2 rows and 2 columns. Now it is which array? 2D array, n dimension 2D array. And what is the shape of this array? 2 rows and 2 columns. It is having how many rows are there? 2 rows. How many columns are there? 2 columns. Okay, now that is a row index. Row slicing, and one more is a column slicing. A row slicing and column slicing. E equal to A of. Now I am writing here 2. I am writing here 2. 2 means 0, 1, 2 colon. 2 colon. 2 colon, what is that? 0. 2 colon 0 colon, what is that? Minus 1. 2 colon 0 colon what? Minus 1. What is the first one indicates? First slicing indicates what? A row. First slicing indicates what? Row. So what is the row index? 2. What is the row index? 2, right? 2 means first slicing is a row. Now this is a row. These are how many rows are there? 3 rows. This is 2. This is 1. This is 0. Then you are doing slicing from top to bottom or bottom to top? Bottom to top. Okay, then in the same way, I want to read 2 rows and how many columns? 2 columns. I want to read 2 rows and 2 columns. Now columns I can give. This is 0 and this is 1. What I can write here? 0 colon. 0 colon what? 2. 0 colon what? 2 is nothing but 2 rows and 2 columns. From where? From where? Bottom. Bottom 2 rows and 2 columns. Now you can see 7, 8 and one more is what? 4, 5. 7, 8, 4, 5. Are you getting or not? Bolo here. So first slicing indicates which one? Rows. Second slicing indicates what? Column. Row slicing and one more is a column slicing. Row and column. Very easy. This is a row and this is what here? Column. You have a matrix with so many number of rows and columns. You may create an image with some 1,000 rows and how many columns? Some 1,000 columns. Then from this, you want to examine by reading a part of image. Then what do you do it? How can I read a part of image? By using what? Slicing. How can I read a part of image? By using what? Slicing, because you are representing image as one matrix. You are representing an image as what? Matrix. You don't want to read complete image. You want to read a part of image. How can I read a part of image? How can you do slicing of images? Slicing of what? Images that can be done by using which one? Slice. So here you are giving multiple indexes. That is a row and one more is what? Column. See, it can be anything. Don't think that I should give like this only. Whatever you want, you can write it. Whatever you want, you can write it. Now this is my matrix. Okay, now having number of rows and columns. Having number of rows and columns. Now this is 0, 1, 2 and this is 0, 1, 2. I want to read, okay, last two rows and two columns. Or I want to read last two rows and three columns. Okay. I want to read last two rows and how many columns? Sorry. I want to read last two columns. All the rows with last two columns. Two columns, 1 and 2. And all the rows I want to read it. Tell me here. How can I write it? Tell me. F equal to A of A of all the rows, right? All the rows means I can write simply colon. Can I write simply colon or not? Yes, because I want all the rows. Then how many columns? How many columns? Two columns. One colon, 3. 1:3 means it will read all the columns. Now all it will read two columns. This is 1 and this is what? 2. What is it? 3 is included or not included? Not included. But are you given row indexes? No. If you don't give the row indexes, what is the default start is? 0. What is the default stop is? 3. What is the default step is? 1. It will keep on incrementing it by 1. So here I am writing f equal to a of colon, comma. I said colon, right? Colon, comma, 0, 1:1 3. So that is a row index and one more is a column index. You can see 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. So 2, 3, 5, 6 and what is that? 8, 9. Means it is read all the rows, but how many columns? It is read all the rows, but how many columns? Two columns. It is read all the rows, but how many columns? Two columns it is read. Okay, now this is your matrix. Contain 3 rows and 3 columns. Contain 3 rows and 3 columns. 0, 1 and 2. And this is a 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Now you can see these are the elements. Like there are some 9 elements are there. So 40, 50, 60. So there are number of elements. So that is 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. So these are number of elements exist in what? Array. So I want to read 2 rows and 3 columns. I want to read 2 rows and how many columns? 3 columns. Tell me. I want to read 2 rows and 3 columns. Can I write colon 2? Can I write colon 2? Yes or no? What is the starting index? 0. What is the stop is? 2. What is the step is? 1. Means it will generate how many indexes? 2 indexes. One is 0 and one more is a 1. Then 2 rows and all the columns, right? All the columns means can I write simply colon or not? Yes. Colon means there is no start and stop. Means what is the default start? 0. What is the default stop? Number of columns. Total number of columns. Now see here G. Now you can see it will read. It will read how many rows? 2 rows. And is it read all the columns or not? Yes. It is read all the columns. Read all the columns, right? So this is how you can slice the two-dimensional array. Now you can create a copy of it. You can create a copy of it. A of colon, comma, colon. If I'm writing A of colon, comma, colon, will it read all the rows and all the columns? It will read all the rows and all the columns. This will create a copy of the matrix. It will create a copy of the matrix. If I'm writing some I equal to A of colon, colon, minus 1, colon, colon, minus 1. If I'm writing colon, colon, minus 1, what is the minus 1 here? Step. Then if the step is negative, then what is the start is? Minus 1. Means you are reversing the matrix. Will it do the reversing of matrix or not? Yes. So I'm writing here print. What is that here? Yeah, same. Now you can see 987, 654 and 321. 987, 654, 321. 321. Okay, if I'm writing A of, okay, A of colon, colon, minus 1, then here I'm saying only colon. Only colon. Tell me this one. Now you can see how it is read. This is 987, 654, 321. But it will read 987 like that? No. It will read 789. And then what? 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3. Row reverse. Column. This is first one is row reverse and column reverse. This is row reverse and this is column reverse. But in this case, it is only row reverse. But columns are reversed. No. So it will try to read in the same order. If I'm printing J, now you can see 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Now this is row reverse and this is no column reverse. Columns are as it is. Columns are not reverse. In this case, row reverse and this is column reverse. In this case, this is only row reverse, but there's no column reverse. If I'm writing like this, A of colon, comma, colon, colon, minus 1. So rows are reversed. No. Which one is reversed? Column values are reversed. Now print. What I'm print here? K. Now when you print a K, you can see 321 and 654 and 987. But columns are same or rows are same or not? Yes. 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2. What is the row index? 0 and 1 and this is 2. But columns are reversed or not? Column values are reversed or not? Yes. Why? Because column indexes are from minus 1. Row index is from 0. Column indexes are from minus 1. Row indexes are from 0. Column indexes are from minus 1. And in this case, row indexes are from minus 1 and column index is from 0. In this case, row index is from minus 1. Column index is also from minus 1. Row reverse, column reverse. In this case, row reverse, column is not reverse. In this case, row, which one is reverse? Column is reverse, but row is not reverse. इंडेक्स यार खाली इंडेक्स ही है ऊपर से नीचे फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट एंड राइट टू लेफ्ट खत्म कुछ नहीं है यार समझ में आया यू अंडरस्टूड और नॉट यस मगर भूल जाते हैं जल्दी राइट Yes. So here only rows are same, only columns are reversed. Okay. Yes. Now even you can read the elements from two-dimensional array based on the condition. You can also read content from two-dimensional array based on the condition. You can also read it based on the condition. So you can also read the content of two-dimensional array based on the condition. Now you can see B equal to NP dot, sorry, B equal to A of A of A greater than or equal to which one? 5. Means whenever you are trying to read based on the condition, it will try to read only elements and it return all the elements in which array? 1D array. It return all the elements in which array? 1D array. It doesn't return 2D array. It will read all the elements which satisfy this condition. What is your array is? 2D array or 1D array? 2D array. But when you are reading elements based on the condition, it is read all the elements and written all the elements in one array. But what is that array is? 1D array. Now B is an array. Now you can see print A, okay, print B, comma, B dot, n dimension, print A dot, what is that? N dimension. What is this here? This is one dimensional array and this is what? Two dimension array. But whenever you are reading elements from two dimensional array, based on the condition, always it will return an array as what? 1D. It doesn't return as a 2D array because it will read only elements. It will read only elements and it will put all those elements into one array which satisfy that condition and then it will put inside one array, right? Yeah, you understood this one? Now this is called as what here? Slicing. So slicing is reading one value or more than one value? More than one value. It means you may read number of rows and number of columns, right? So this slicing can be done on 1D array. This slicing can be done on 2D array. This slicing can be done on 3D array also. You want that also? Then I just tell you here. So I'm creating which array? 3D array. I'm creating 3D array. So 3D array contain a matrix. A matrix contain number of rows and columns. So here I'm writing 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. This is one matrix. And I'm creating one more matrix. So here I'm writing 7, 8, 9. Sorry, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, comma 10, 11, 12. So but this is an array. Then I should use np dot, what is the name of the function? Array. We are using only one function. but we'll try to see all other functions also. Okay. Right now we are using only one function to create the array. And this array function return which object? Array function returns which object? ND array. It returns which object? ND array. What is ND array? Class. What is ND array? Class. Are you creating object of ND array? Yes, you can create object of ND array, but who is returning object of ND array? Array. Array is return object of which array? ND array. Getting or not? So array function create array. Which array? ND array. NumPy is having how many collection, how many data structures? NumPy provide how many data structures? Only one. What is the name of that? ND array is the name of the class. It is a name of the class or it is a name of the data type which represent array object. Which represent array object. Is it array is a data type or function? Function. Array is what here? Function. Which one is data type? ND array. Array is not a class here. Array is a function. And this function create which object? ND array object. It will create ND array object. पहले बोला था यार. Type of A. A is which type? ND array. A is which type? ND array. Okay. So what I was telling is, now this is which array? Three-dimensional array. This is three-dimensional array. Three-dimensional array. I'm saying A dot n dimension. A dot n dimension and A dot, what is this? Shape. A dot n dimension and A dot shape. Now you can see three dimension with two matrices, two matrices, and each matrix contain two rows and how many columns? Three columns. Each matrix contain two rows and two columns. Three columns, two rows and three columns. How many matrices are there? Two matrices. Okay. Then you want to do what? Slicing. What do you want to do? Slicing, right? So B equal to A of, if I'm writing colon, if I'm writing colon 1, I'm writing a colon 1 I said here. What I said here? Colon 1. Colon 1 means, what is the first one is? Matrix. What is the first one is? Matrix. So it will read how many matrices? Array, I've given only one. I said colon 1 means 0 colon 1. 0 colon 1 means what is the first one is? Matrices. Inside this three-dimensional array, how many matrices are there? Two matrices. But you are reading how many matrices? One matrix. You are reading one matrix. So print B, comma, B dot n dimension and B dot, what is that? Shape. B dot n dimension and B dot shape. Now you can see what I've written here, one matrix, right? One matrix means this complete thing is a matrix. Tell me, this complete thing is a matrix. See here, it is read 1, 2, 3. This is one matrix. Is it read that matrix or not? Yes, first matrix it is read. And it is which array? Three-dimensional array with 1 comma 2 comma, what is that? 3. 1 comma 2 comma 3. 1 comma 2 comma 3. First matrix it is read. I want to read second matrix. Bolo here. Bolo. A of 1 colon. Khatam. I want to read the second matrix. How can I read the second matrix? A of 1 colon. I said A of 1 colon and I said print C. So 1 colon means will it read first matrix or second matrix? Second matrix. See, I'm using how many indexes here? Only one, right? If you are using one index, in this case, one index indicates what? Matrix. Second index indicates what? Number of rows. Third index indicates what? Number of columns. But here I'm using in slicing, how many indexes I'm using? Array in slicing, I'm using how many indexes? One index means are using matrices or rows and columns? Matrices. If I'm using two indexes, then it is what? Matrix and row. If I'm using three indexes, matrix, row and column. Khatam. Yes or no? Okay. Now here I'm using only one index. Here I'm using only one index. That indicates which index? Matrix. Number of matrices from 3D array. Number of matrices from 3D array. Now in this case, it will read the last matrix, second matrix, and this is a matrix contain three rows and how many rows? Two rows and three columns. Anyway, two rows and three columns. Okay. Now if I am using now D equal to A of colon means you are reading all the matrices. You are reading all the matrices. Now second is what now? Number of rows. Number of rows. I am writing here colon 1. Colon 1. Colon 1 means, see, what is the first index? Matrix. What is the second index? Rows. From each matrix you are reading how many rows? From each matrix you are reading how many rows? One row. From each matrix you are reading one row. I just write here colon 1. I said here colon 1. Now you can see from each matrix it is read only one row. Which row? First row. You can see this is the first row and this is also what? First row. First row or not? Yes. In the same way, they go here. You guess it because you people are very intelligent, right? So A of colon indicates, or first one indicates number of matrices. Second one indicates number of rows. Third one indicates then below here. It will read all the matrices or not? Yes, with one row, one column. One row and one column. Okay. So print E. If I do like this, now you can see it is read only one row and one column. 1 and 7. Is it this is 3D array or not? Yes. The result is again 3D array. Okay. The result is again 3D array. So colon and colon 1 and colon 1. So when I'm using three indexes, if I'm using three indexes, that indicates you are reading the elements from which matrix? Which array? 3D array. If I'm using two indexes, it means your two subscripts are two indexes, means you are reading the elements from which array? 2D array. That is what I said. Number of indexes are based on the shape of the array, based on dimensions of array, based on the shape and based on the dimension. Clear? What do you say here? Clear or not? So you need to give this slicing by separating with comma and comma, right? So if you want to create a copy, what do you do it? A of colon katam. So this will create a copy of the array or not? Yes. So this is created one copy. This is created one copy of the array. So you can also read, you can also read So you can also read the content of the array. Yeah, this is what indexing and slicing. You can also read the content of the array using for loop. You can also read the content of array using for loop. You can also read the content of the array using for loop. You know it. For loop. For is an iterator. For is an iterator. Sorry. For is an iterator which iterate or read values from which one? Collections. It can be any collection or it can be what? Iterable. It can be a collection or what? Iterable. So is it array is iterable or not? Yes. So because that array contain one value or more than one value? More than one value. That array contain more than one value, right? But for loop iterate all the values one by one. It read the elements. It will read the elements of the array. You know the syntax. Already I don't require to tell you the syntax of which loop? For loop. So here I'm creating an array. See, first we learn how to create. What is the first we learn? How to create array. Okay, how to create 1D array, how to create 2D array, how to create 3D array. And we learn attributes of array. Yes, attributes of array. Then after that, we are learning how to read content of the array so that you can perform operations. You can read the content of the array and by performing certain operations. Okay, na? Right. Then I'm creating an array. So A equal to, now again I'm creating an array by saying np dot array. So I try to create a 1D array, one dimensional array. Now for, I'm using a for loop. For followed by what name? Variable name. Variable name. What is the name of my variable? Sam X. So for loop each time it iterate, means read. Each time it will read one element or value from what? Array. It will read one element or value from array, and I'm saying here print x. Now you can see, is it read all the values from array or not? Yes. It is read all the elements from the array. It is read all the elements from the array. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is reading elements from array by using which loop? For loop. But this is 1D array. Now I'm creating a 2D array by saying np dot array. By saying np dot array with 1 comma 2, 1 comma 2, 3 comma 4 and 5 comma 6 and 7 comma 8. 7 comma 8. Now this is which array? 2D array with how many rows? 4 rows. And how many columns? 2 columns. Very good. First, when you give this array to the for loop, what will it read? Rows or columns? Rows. For row in B. So each time it will read one row. See here. Each time it will read one row. Each time it will read one row. And I'm saying print a row. So this will read only rows. See here. How many rows it is read? 3 rows. 4 rows. Sorry. So it is read how many rows here? 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is read 4 rows. How many rows it is read? 4 rows. After reading 4 rows, 4 rows I read. 4 rows. Okay, right. From rows, I should read what? Columns. Can I read columns directly here? No. First you have to read rows. From rows, I should read what? Columns. For row in matrix. What is the name of the matrix is A. Then for column in what? Row. For column in row. For column in row. Nested. So first you are reading row. And from row you are reading what? Columns. Column is nothing but elements. Column is nothing but elements. Now each row is called one array or not? Yes. Each row is which array? 1D array. Each row is which array? 1D array. So each time you are reading one row, and from that row, you are reading what? Values. From that row, you are reading the values. So I want to print in the form of matrix. So what is the name of the array? B. Sorry, B is there. So run the code. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. So that is a row, and next one is what? Column. Now there is another array. So which array it is? 3-dimensional array. Now when you say 3-dimensional array, there is a matrix, and within that you have a matrix with number of rows and columns. I am writing 3, 4. So there is one more matrix contain. So 5, 6, 7, 8. This is one more matrix. And there is one more matrix with 9, 10, 9, 10, and 11, 12. Now tell me, how many matrices are there? 3 matrices. And each matrix contain 2 rows and 2 columns. What is the shape of this array? 3, 2, 2. 3, 2, 2. Now, how can I read the content of this? First, I have to read what? Matrix. For matrix in, what is that? C. This will read a matrix or not? Yes. It will read a matrix. What it will read? Matrix. Now, if I say print matrix, how many matrices it is read? 3 matrices. This is first matrix, and this is a second matrix, and this is what? Third matrix. This is a first matrix, and this is a second matrix, and this is what? Third matrix. I read all the matrices. From matrix, I want to read rows and columns. Then what do you do it? For matrix in what? C. For matrix in C, from matrix you have to read rows. For row in which one? Matrix. From row you have to read what? Columns. For column in what? Row. Nested. This is nested. Print. What I print here? Columns. What I print here? Columns. And inside a new line. And inside what again? New line. So you can see number of matrices get printed. Now this is first matrix. This is second matrix. And this is what? Third matrix. Now for this, I used how many nested? 3 nested. First for loop is reading matrices. And after reading matrices, from each matrix you are reading each row. And from row you are reading what? Columns. From each row you are reading a columns. Column is nothing but values. Understood? So this is nested. A for loop inside a for loop. Right? Now this is reading content of the matrix or array using a for loop. Using for loop. So you can also read the content of an array using iterator. Using what? Iterator. Now you know in Python you try to use one function. What is the name of the function is iter. Actually it is not a function, it is a type. Iterator is a class that returns which object? Iterator object. Iterator is a class and that class returns which object? Iterator object. It returns an iterator object. And using this iterator object, what you can do? You can iterate the values. By using this iterator object, you can iterate the values or elements. But there is an iterator and there is ND iterator. NumPy is provided one more iterator. But what is the advantage of using iterator and ND iterator? We'll discuss. Not today, but we'll discuss tomorrow, right? So I think you understood up to this, all of you. Understood? Right. So then tomorrow we'll see more on this arrays. Today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this. Right? Thank you. Right.
इतने अच्छे लड़के से अपनी पागल बेटी की शादी करवा दी। मुझे तो लगता है उन्होंने लड़के वालों को ये बताया ही नहीं होगा। बेचारा दूल्हा फंस गया। वो लड़की तो दिमाग से थोड़ी कम है।
Tell me, Chandan.
नो, पूरी पागल नहीं, बस दिमाग से थोड़ी कम है। मतलब आपको इसकी जानकारी पहले से थी।
Notes will be uploaded in the Google Classroom. Classroom link I'll give just a minute. Online students, you already joined, I think. Okay, now this is the class code. You can take this class code, and offline students, only offline students. This is a class code for offline students.
जब वर्कलोड की आप बात करते हैं ना तो वो सिर्फ शराज के लिए सॉरी सिर्फ बुमराह के लिए नहीं है।
This is for offline students.
आप बात करें तो पांचों टेस्ट खेलते हुए नजर आए और जिस जिस शिद्दत से उन्होंने गेंदबाजी की है वो लाजवाब। एक फास्ट बॉलर था, बार-बार उस तरीके से आगे।
Yeah, I'll start. Once it start, I'll inform.
ये भी एक रीजन हो सकता है कि उनको ब्रेक दिया गया।
Google Classroom. This is Google Classroom code. Flat, I'll tell you. Naveen, I'll tell you. Flatten array. We'll discuss. You see my chart window. If you see my chart window, you can see the question. You see my chart window, you can see the question. What they are asking. You don't see it. Why? Because if I give permission, right, you people are charting. You people are charting. Because of some people, I should restrict. Okay, they are using chart window as a charting with other people. Understood? Huh? I don't have any problem. But the problem is charting with other people. Yeah, definitely. I'll give the permission.
माशाल्लाह। ए हिंदी अफगानी बाय बाय। उनके पास जो है वो खोल के आपके लिए रख देगा। एक बंदा छोटी सी दुकान खोल के बैठा, पैसे नहीं ले रहा। पैसा क्यों नहीं ले रहा है तुम ये बताओ। ऐसा मेरे साथ एक जगह 50 सेकंड ये हॉस्पिटैलिटी। मैं